The ember in Starcrux's chest flickers, unstable. Once a perfect star burned within him, its essence balanced, until Kareth tore it away. Now the core unravels, on the verge of collapse. If he does not reclaim what was stolen, his body will fail, and the dying star will erupt, ending everything. Through hidden sanctuaries and cursed lands he hunts. His power remains vast, but his form is fracturing. He feels the collapse creeping closer. Either Kareth dies or the world does. In a city of broken sky, Kareth waits.
You can't hold it together!
He mocks. Spells lash out, but Starcrux pushes forward. His core weakens. He is out of time. He seizes Kareth and rips the stolen essence free. The star stabilizes, its death halted. Kareth vanishes in the collapse, erased. Starcrux stands, the world saved, but only for now.
The storm raged for 3 days before Fyravaal emerged, his roar splitting the sky. The people of Vardholm feared his name. Few who entered the Veilspire returned, speaking of scorched earth and a voice in the thunder. Fyravaal was once a king who defied the gods, seeking dominion over the skies. The storm spirit struck him down, binding his soul to lightning. His kingdom fell, yet he remained, waiting for one to break his curse. For centuries he searched, testing warriors and kings, but all shattered beneath his fury. The storm needed a vessel, but none were worthy. The skies raged without purpose, a god with no hand to shape its will. One night, thunder rolled over a village, and a child stepped into the rain. He did not flinch or cower. Instead, he raised his hand. Fyravaal watched, and at last, the lightning found its vessel.
Once a century, a single person may challenge the Titan of the Black Mountain to combat. Win, and they claim its strength. Lose, and they are never seen again. The Titan does not bow, does not serve, does not answer to kings or gods. It fights and does not yield. For 500 years, every challenger has fallen. Some were crushed beneath its fists, some scattered like dust in the wind, and others were simply never seen again. The mountain kept their names while the world forgot them. This time, the challenger is Merrick Toll, a warlord without a throne. He has burned cities, toppled dynasties, and broken warriors who called themselves gods. Now, at last, he stands before something that cannot fall. He grins, rolling his shoulders. Finally, a fight worth losing. Nisara watched the world rot, greedy empires feasting on stolen breath. Poison was the cure. Her venom would seep into the veins of those who ruled unchecked. But one man stood in her way, a wildfire between her and the purge. Kaldris did not fight for kings or gods. Strength was its own purpose, tested in the clash of forces that refused to break. If Nisara's poison could kill him, then her world deserved to rise. But if his fire reduced her to ash, she was never worthy of it. Mist curled toward him. He ignited the air, a wall of pink flame splitting the battlefield. She darted low, daggers glinting, but he moved with the fire, striking mid-step. Her blade carved his ribs. His fingers closed around her throat. Fire and venom surged, each tearing through flesh, neither yielding, until one hand finally went still. Deep beneath the ashen wastes, the bone hive writhes, a labyrinth of tunnels built from scavenged remains. It stretches for miles, pulsing with the motion of its builders, pale, eyeless insects with razor mandibles. They strip flesh with eerie precision, their endless skittering filling the dark as they carve marrow into shifting chambers. The hive has no queen, only an ancient instinct driving its expansion. Scouts drag bones to the nest, while drones fuse them into walls. When bones run scarce, the swarm grows bolder, emerging at night to harvest fresh material. Villages wake to find empty homes, the ground scraped clean of bodies. The hive creeps beneath the earth, its tunnels stretching farther each day. Travelers hear whispers at its edge, a chittering chorus that shifts like speech. Fires set to its chambers fail. Within days they stand restored, stronger than before. The swarm does not simply build, it spreads. The hive does not die, it only waits. Cross the arena, reach the gate, and claim a fortune beyond counting. But no one ever does, and so the trial of the Devourer begins. The ground scarred with the remains of those who failed. Broken bones, dried blood, footprints that lead nowhere. They have no plan, no path. When the beast moves, men die. It rips through them instantly. A warrior is caught mid-air, limbs jerking once before going still. A rogue dives through broken columns, too slow. Bones snap, screams cut short. Others try to fight, their blades carve deep, but the wounds do not last. A shield crumples, the arm behind it severs. The arena is silent within moments. One man remains. He throws himself forward, fingers grasping open air. Then pain, searing and absolute. He is dragged back, nails carving trenches in the dirt. The last thing he sees is the gate, still open, waiting for someone who will never reach it.
The exiled prince wandered the cursed lands, his name forgotten, his throne stolen. Deep in the ruins of an ancient castle, he found a throne, pulsing with unseen power. Whispers echoed in the air, voices of the past calling his name. It promised everything he had lost. He didn't hesitate to claim it. The moment he sat, the pact was sealed. Shadows coiled around him, sinking into his flesh. His body stiffened, veins burning with dark power. The whispers grew into wails as ghostly figures emerged, not to attack, but to kneel, their allegiance eternal. He was no longer just a man. He rose, his form no longer human. A crown fused to his skull, his armor pulsing with cursed sigils. The ruined castle became a fortress of black stone, ruling over a land of nightmares. The sky bled crimson, creatures of darkness bowing before him. He now had what he desired. All it cost was his soul.
Drums echoed as the festival began, tens of thousands kneeling in reverence. Offerings of silk, jewels and fire lay at its feet. The earth trembled as its presence grew. A guttural hum rolled through the valley. Hands pressed to the ground in worship, breaths held in devotion. They had waited generations. Then sigils unraveled, releasing waves of raw power. The sky twisted gold and black as tents collapsed and banners burned. Screams replaced songs, prayers drowned in chaos. Some stood frozen as massive limbs unfurled, reshaping the land and erasing the line between divine and mortal. The transformation was complete. The land fractured, sky torn by storms. Those who remained stood among ruins, watching the world twist. The air vibrated with a force too vast to comprehend. The festival had ended. The god had not been worshipped. It had awakened. The Watcher of the Black Veins appears without warning. One moment, nothing. The next, a towering figure of sinew and shadow, its massive green eye locked onto you. It doesn't move, doesn't speak, just watches, like it's waiting for you to do something interesting. Some say it was once a guardian, but after eons of standing watch, it's just bored. Staring too long makes your veins itch, your thoughts go fuzzy, like reality is bending under its gaze. Maybe it's judging you, maybe it's just curious. Either way, you'll feel different when it's gone. Then without a sound it vanishes. No attack, no grand revelation, just an unsettling absence, as if the universe briefly focused on you and then moved on. But if the Watcher found you even remotely worth noticing, don't get too comfortable. It'll be back.
No prison could hold Luna Revair. By the time the guards arrived, she was already gone. One blink, and she stood behind you. Another, and nothing more than a trace of laughter remained. Shackles lay empty, doors swung wide, the chase always ending before it began. Her feats brought reputation. She stole the Empress's crown while it still rested on her head. took a warlord's heart from his chest just to see if she could. When she was sentenced to hang, the noose tightened around empty air. She was the definition of sleuth. Kingdoms despised her. The bounty on her head climbed higher by the day. She became the most wanted in the realm. There was hardly anyone who didn't want her dead or behind bars for good. Still, Luna never worried. Why would she? After all, how do you hold on to something that's never truly there?